Niki Demar is facing a lot of backlash for who she went to Coachella with. I know the festival feels like it was way long ago, but she went the second weekend and then she posted these photos later on, and she also posted a YouTube video this past week. So that's what makes this more relevant. Plus the fact that her comment section is still filled with people being upset about this. But let me tell you guys, when she shared on Instagram and on YouTube that Shein took her to the festival this year in several sponsored posts, she was receiving a ton of backlash for it. This isn't the first time she's worked with the brand and received hate, which seems to be the biggest thing when it comes to her fans being upset with her for taking this deal. The fact that they've expressed that they aren't happy with the partnership and tried to explain to her why they don't love Shein, yet she continues to work with them anyway. I can't say I'm surprised to see her having gone to the festival with Shein and being sponsored by them because, like I said, she has worked with them before. And honestly, some people really have no problem promoting them to their large audiences. And it seems like despite the fact that her followers have a bad taste in their mouth every single time she talks about them and posts about them, she just doesn't really care. I do think that her kind of doing it despite the way that they feel is just asking for the backlash. Like, you clearly see the comments and most of them are about not liking Shein. So it is a little surprising that she would want to continue doing it, but the money must be good. And sometimes people can look the other direction for a check. Now, if you guys don't know, Shein is a massive online clothing shop and they sell more than just clothes. Honestly, they've got home decor, makeup, a lot of random things, but it's extremely cheap. Like, it's so cheap. And that is the appeal to a lot of people. But there's a reason why it's so cheap. I mean, there is no way you can sell a top for $5, maybe even like a freaking dollar, and think that the person who made it is making a fair wage. According to Time, a lengthy investigation by Wired first chronicled how both laborers and consumers suffered from the production of its clothes, while a documentary by the UK's Channel 4 found that Shein employees are working 75-hour shifts with very little time off. Then Swiss watchdog Public Eye released another detailed report in November, which accused Shein of violating Chinese labor laws. The group hired independent Chinese researchers to track Shein's manufacturing and packaging process in China and Europe, and found that many were running informal factories set up in residential buildings. Channel 4's documentary Inside the Shein Machine sent in undercovers that investigated in one of their factories and reported that the daily base salary pay was $20, and if you made a mistake, it would be less than that. Some people can look past these things and buy from the brand because it is so cheap, which is a huge reason why Shein is so successful. But when it comes to influencers promoting them, people just can't turn their heads in the other direction, and Niki has been hearing it from her fans as they wonder why she chooses to support and promote such a company. I've seen a lot of people say that they buy from Shein because they can't afford clothes from other places, but Niki's fans are under the assumption that this isn't something that she absolutely needs to be doing, and that's why they are upset about it. And they said, "Niki, I love you, but this is insane. Please educate yourself on how bad Shein is. So many people have asked you to stop this collaboration, and that Shein is able to pay for such a huge influencer trip is not fun or cool. It's sad. The fact that Shein can afford to pay influencers to stay in this mansion and attend Coachella, but can't afford to pay their factory workers a livable wage. Embarrassing to see influencers partner with them after that has come out online. I feel like influencers know the negativity that comes with Shein, but choose to ignore it all for a bag. No way they miss all the comments or media saying how poorly employees are treated and paid. I hope they can learn to do better one day." And people kept pointing out the fact that she must see these comments, and yet she's choosing to ignore the situation, saying, "The fact that you're acknowledging the comments, complimenting your growth, and looks while deliberately ignoring the ones pointing out the reality of Shein is so disappointing coming from you, Niki. I have relied on your vlogs to motivate myself during my worst times, yet here we are witnessing you partnering with one of the worst, most toxic brands of the century and living off the exploitation of poor workers trapped in sweatshops. I truly hope you use your influence for the better moving forward, but until then, I can no longer support you. Wishing you light and wisdom." I'm 100,000% sure she sees what everyone's saying and knows exactly what's up with Shein. It's beyond me why she still continues to partner with them. I've been a Niki sub for years and years, so no hate, just genuinely concerned. I'm sure she has read comments from her original post and knows how awful this brand is. She is just choosing to overlook those things because there is a fat stack of money on the line. I'm sure there will be an apology video of some sorts, and then she will either continue to work with them or find another fast fashion brand to support. Unfortunately, these influencers just don't care. They will manipulate and play the game until people forget and then move on to the next scandal. This video reminded me it's sadly past time to unsubscribe. Imagine still partnering with them, even though the majority of people who like her hate Shein. How many times do people need to point out how terrible for the planet and completely unsustainable they are, using sketchy third-party factories so they can pay labor salaries with poor working conditions? SMH, I really like Niki. I could excuse it before when I thought she was locked into a one-year contract, but after this long and still selling out, come on. So disappointing. Most of the comments under Niki's previous Shein videos look pretty similar to these, so it's certainly confusing to fans why she keeps doing it. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that they will send her like a bunch of free clothes on top of like payment for working with them or what, because she did recently talk about not really budgeting her money right and no longer having shopping spree money, talking about how her mortgage is really expensive and that's like leaving her no room for going shopping, and how she's been wearing clothes that she gets sent for free from brands most of the time.
I hate this term, but I just learned it today. But like house poor? I'm paying my mortgage. I can pay it, but it's a really high mortgage. Laying out like an arm and a leg. My income hasn't changed that much. Yeah, granted, we haven't been posting on Niki and Gabby as much. The reason why I felt comfortable getting a house in 2021 was because I was making so much money on my own. I honestly could afford living in this house without even posting on Niki and Gabby, and that's what made me feel okay. The thing with now is like, I'm paying my mortgage, but I don't have really wiggle room anywhere else in my life. There's literally no money going towards me anymore. I can't tell you the last time I had a shopping spree that wasn't a sponsored video. A lot of the things I wear are sent for free in exchange for a post, or it's a sponsorship. I miss shopping sprees. I used to love shopping.
So I don't know if that's her justifying working with brands like Shein or what, but all I'll say is that it's definitely not making fans happy, that's for sure. And she was receiving the same comments under her Instagram post as well, with people saying, you guys, she does not care. We have been telling her for years and she still continues to work with them for the money and the trips. This is not very Earth Day, babe. Again, with the Shein sponsors, so much for someone who used to be so passionate about supporting small businesses and shopping secondhand. I don't understand why you continue to support Shein, even though when you post, most of the comments are asking you not to support. Sadly, this is a no for me, and I'll be unfollowing and unsubscribing from YouTube. I can't follow someone who supports companies like Shein. Best of luck though. It's actually so sad to see that Shein is able to send influencers on these luxury brand trips. And Niki vlogged the whole thing. They're staying in this mega mansion. They are having these big fancy dinners. They're getting driven around in party buses. This is a multi-$1,000 trip. It could be in the millions with the way that this looks. Meanwhile, there's reports of their employees suffering.
The past weekend trip that I went on was actually insane. I am so glad I documented it. Huge thank you to my friends over at Shein for this opportunity and for sponsoring this video.
The big Shein bus, you can't miss it.
We made it! This is... Hi!
This is crazy!
I almost like teared up walking out here. Like, not only do I get to go to a festival, but I also get to make new friends.
Yeah, it definitely is weird to see that they clearly have so much money to give, just not to the people that they should give it to. Now, I will say that it does seem like Niki did delete this video from her YouTube channel, given all the backlash that was on it. She did still keep up the Instagram post saying that she went with them to Coachella, but the YouTube video is gone. She also did say on Twitter, I never signed up to be a role model, nor intend to be. It would be nice to be one, but unfortunately I'm a flawed human being like everyone else, but I just post about it and put it all out there. I'm not sure if it's in response to her getting called out or what. It kind of maybe seems like it, given that she did delete that video off of her channel, but I certainly want to know what you guys think about all of this and Shein. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.